All right, everyone, we're headed to the Badlands National Park in South Dakota. Here's some of my favorite photos from our time there. And yeah, Emily and I went there, oh gosh, man, when was this? This was in, I gotta look, September, like mid-September of 2023. And we were only there like a real short time, I think a couple of days. We only went into the park 2 days, and we did some stuff outside and around it for a day or so. But yeah, we weren't there real long. That was our first year in that area, so it was our year of just traveling like crazy people, just going nonstop from park to park to park. And if we go back, we would stay a lot longer because it is a stunning, stunning place, as you can see. Just beautiful scenery, incredible wildlife, and I mean, yeah, like look at that. That was our last day there. You know, just absolutely incredible. So let's get right back to the beginning here and start out. Our first day, this was outside of the park, and so got a, looks like a Say's Phoebe. Yeah, Say's Phoebe in, and of course, when I'm in areas like this, I am doing my absolute best to try and show off the habitat. I'm gonna have a lot of landscape and just scenic photos and some videos to show you guys as well, just because it was such a stunning place. And this should be a little bit of a shorter video because, like I said, we were there a short period of time and didn't get to shoot a ton, but we definitely got, I think this was, I'm pretty sure this was my first experience with bighorn sheep. I got to shoot Dall sheep in Alaska before I got to shoot the bighorns here. But anyway, this is the view from where we camped. So just outside the park, there's a free boondocking area. It's like nicknamed as the Wall. And I'll have some photos at some point, I believe, that show it off to you guys. And right around there, these bighorns are hanging out. Now these were all like females and I think younger males. There was no like big rams in this group that were hanging out there, but still cool to see, just like right outside your doorstep, really. And these were some shots I took, you know, just beautiful, stunning light, 100 to 400 with this stuff, just trying to get some portraits. I think actually this should render up a little bit cleaner. It shouldn't have that crazy pattern in the gradient. There we go. Yeah, the preview wasn't rendered. This was 1 to 400 too. Actually, I'm kind of surprised. I thought that would have been more like a wider lens, but I did this in this habitat. So wait, there's straight out of camera, and that one's the final edit there, I think. Yeah, because this guy had a collar on him, so I cloned that out in post, just because it was a little distracting, I thought, you know. But tried to shoot some of these scenic shots, and yeah, just really, really cool there. I thought I had a photo showing what it looked like there, but maybe I didn't get that one. Okay, that's all right. I thought I had a photo of me taking that photo there, but just to kind of show you what that habitat looked like. But this was it. This was, guys, literally just outside the van. It was really crazy. There's this guy walking down that slope. There was actually a few more of them right there. But what a view, huh? What a view. Yeah, really, really cool. Would have been much better without the big giant collar, of course. And then you can start to see some of these other RVs dotted over there. So you get to stay right on the edge there and have that view. It's an absolute amazing spot. Mourning dove out on this cliff one morning. Why not, right? Might as well take them. So I tried to place them in the light spot there, kind of silhouette them against the darker like layering and stuff like that back there. I think that's the same little bird. Is that mourning dove? Yeah. That's the same bird, or maybe it was a different one perched in a different spot. Talk about small in frame, huh? But yeah, I placed him right in the bright spot on the horizon there. This is more a shot of the scene than anything else. Check that one out though. Got the bighorn going by with the mourning dove looking on there. Beautiful scenery in the background. I actually like this one a lot. It's funny when you revisit some photos. You know, I don't think I ever marked this one to be shared, or I know I definitely didn't share it. Yeah, I didn't even have it marked to shared, so I'm gonna go ahead and mark that one to be a potential, because all of a sudden there's something I like about it. I think there's an interesting story there. The landscape is beautiful. The wildlife itself shows out quite nicely compared to something like that at 70 millimeter. So yeah, and then there's some 400 millimeter. So for these, I specifically put them against the darker stuff so I could get that rimlet glow there. That was definitely the goal with that. And there's the mourning dove again with the sheep beneath it. How fun. At this point in this one morning, we just kind of wandered out. We followed the sheep a little bit. They don't care about people at all. They just basically ignore you. We had gotten really close to them. But we followed them a little bit just to see if we could get some other shots, but the sun was getting pretty strong and harsh and, you know, just a little bit more challenging. This, however, was a cool one. Western, I think Western meadowlark. I don't think they were Eastern there. Okay, Eastern meadowlark. Yeah, they were just flying around out there, so I was trying to get the Badlands habitat in the background. Certainly a challenging thing to get these little guys in focus, so I'm amazed I got any of them. So this was another day, second encounter with these bighorns when they came in closer. This time I think we were a little bit more ready, grabbed the wide stuff, and then there should be some scenes. So they're straight out of camera. And then, straight out of camera, final edit right there. And you can see, here's Emily getting some shots with these guys. They just walked right by you. So you just basically sit in one spot, and again, you can see some of the other RVs and campers back there. Pretty cool. Look at that. Yeah, this is where we stayed. And right off of this edge, guys, it's just the cliff right down into that view right there. You know, pretty amazing. Just an incredible, incredible place to stay. This is our older van, the previous van. So look at that. Just photographing them right there. And just, they don't care. I may have been the same day, I don't remember, but crazy storm rolled through. And we actually went out to try and photograph prairie dogs with this in the background. Kind of thought that would be really neat, but it didn't really work out. Oh, I don't know if this was around the same time, but this was a cell phone shot, so it might be out of sequence. And, oh no, that wasn't cell phone shot. Yeah, I guess we must have went out, shot that, and then these guys were still around, so I just shot them out the window there. And then this is when we went for the prairie dogs. These, I believe, yeah, you can see the prairie dogs right there dotting the landscape. So we couldn't go out and get low right when there was bison walking around. So we had to wait for them to kind of clear out and move on. And with this sky, the skies out there, when you get to see that far, the storms are just incredible. They really are. We did get some prairie dog shots, but I kind of was hoping for something a little bit closer with like this kind of stuff in the background, you know, like that landscape, so I could go a little bit wider with the prairie dogs, but they were all pretty skittish, so we had to stay far away and just kind of stay low. So this was my first time photographing prairie dogs, which was fun. And so, yeah, got a few shots of them out there showing these little guys off, but never really got that shot that I wanted with that beautiful storm. But it's never a bad day when you're hanging out with prairie dogs, you know? They're such fun, curious little critters. There's straight out of camera, final edit. Yeah. Pronghorn were out there, like off in the distance, so got some high key. There's my final edit on that one. This was the original, and I just went sort of lighter with the grasses to kind of make that pronghorn stand out, just sort of wash out the habitat around them, you know. This was our last day. So we got up that morning, we were going to leave, but we were leaving by going through the park and then driving out a different entrance to head to wherever, I don't even remember where we were going next. This day was much more interesting, I thought. So I wanted to jump back here and show you, this was our first day in the park, actually, not the last day. I just realized that my photos had gotten kind of out of sequence here, so I wanted to show you a few more things. This was the first time we went in the park. Full sun day. You can see clear, absolute clear sky. It's cool habitat, isn't it? But it doesn't look that nice. It looks kind of crappy. Everything's harsh. It's kind of colorless. There's like a little bit of a tan there, but it's just washed out from that bright sun. And you can see even here where you can see some of the colors, it's really hard to see it. And here's a few other photos I just wanted to show you, again, since everything got out of sequence. Again, just our view. This is where we stayed for a couple of nights for free, which is amazing. So just get that view right out of the van there. There's a shot right out the window, or the side door, I should say. One of the nights that were really, really starry, just shot that on the phone one night. And again, just one of those sunrise or sunset, I think this was sunrise views from out there. Just incredible, incredible colors, you know. So back to this. Yeah, and then here's another one of me photographing those wider angle shots there. So back to our last day in the park. And so, yeah, shot this bison. There's my final edit on that guy. That one's the just edited Lightroom version. And then I did that just to make him stand out a little more. But how much more unique and dramatic with these clouds. It looks so much better. The colors showed. So here's some stuff just shot on the phone. There you go, some more phone stuff. And I actually have a few videos, so before we finish up all these photos, let's jump over and check out some of those. So here's some with the scenery there. I'll get that started for you just so you can check it out. Yeah, you can see it's just stunning habitat. It really is. But it looks so much better when you have this sort of overcast light, you know? Here's another one. Just kind of showing off that pretty habitat and the flowers in the foreground there. The dramatic sky. It wasn't that flat gray overcast sky either. It was, you know, there was some nice drama in those clouds, which was really helpful. On our way into the park the last day, we came across these bison like right when we were coming in. But the landscape was just kind of flat. It's just more of the open prairies there. And so it was fun to watch this guy scratching away on that tree. But scenic wise, we didn't stay there very long. And so that's like a thing that is, I think, kind of important to note that we do is even when we have really good wildlife encounters, and Emily and I don't get to photograph American bison that often, but even when we have a really good close encounter, if the scene isn't that pretty or the light's not amazing or it's just not going to really provide that what we think is an incredible shot, we kind of move on, you know, for the most part. It's not 100%. There are some times where we just stay with the wildlife just to enjoy it. And we certainly did that here. You know, we stayed and watched them and watched this goofball, you know, scratching himself on that tree and watched the other ones roaming around. But photographically, we quickly realized like, man, it's kind of flat, boring here. There's nothing much going on with the scenery and the habitat. And so we just move on, you know, and I think that's something that's hard to do a lot of the times, especially when you're in a new area, is to say, oh, the wildlife's right here. Look, I mean, this stuff was close. Like these bison right here were, I mean, they were right there. This was just shot on the phone right outside the window, you know? So they were right there. We could easily just open the door, get down and get low, do some shots there, or even get out and get on the ground right by the van. So that way, if something came too close, we could hop back in. So we could have kept ourselves safe and shot it, but it was just going to be kind of blah, you know? And so instead, we opted to move into the park, and then this was what we found 10 minutes after that. Way more interesting scenery, the clouds. I mean, the clouds we could have gotten in the other spot, but look at the scenery. Like this, to me, really shows off more of that unique Badlands habitat that area is known for, instead of just the flat rolling prairies that go on forever, which you can kind of find anywhere outside of, you know, the specific Badlands area. So it made more sense to go on, and you know, we could have left and never seen another bison again. That was totally a possibility, but I was okay with that, and Emily's okay with that, because we really want to just go see really unique stuff. And photographically, we're going to spend more of our time when it's really special, you know? So I just wanted to kind of share that way of thinking on this kind of stuff. So anyway, back to some of these, and let's get back to the videos there. I think I got a few more here to show you. Oh, okay, this is what I had earlier. So that earlier silhouette of that bighorn sheep against the sun, this is what it looked like. So I did have a video, not a photo, to show of that, just so you kind of get an idea of what it looked like there. And then here's some of these guys just roaming around the camping area. That was not my tripod. Somebody else had that set up, I think, just doing a GoPro of the sunset there, but pretty wild to have that kind of stuff roaming in your yard, you know? This was that sunrise from right outside of the camper. Right outside the van, we just stepped out, and this was the sunrise. That's the view you get. Absolutely stunning. It was really sad that we didn't have more wildlife on this morning. Like, we woke up and we just couldn't find much of anything to photograph because that color in that sky, and that color, that band of orange didn't last too long, because it just, the sun went up in the clouds, and that was kind of it. So obviously you can see this is coming up. We do get some bighorn rams to play with. So here's just a few more snapshots of us out there. Again, just trying to do some interesting landscapes, showing off this habitat and scenery. There's Emily out in there. Just drama, really was, you know, so dramatic, these skies. This was 2470 shot at 45 millimeter. There's 20, almost at 24 millimeter. Kind of like the road going into this one, but oh man, I remember it now. It's just, it makes me wish I was back there, you know? I love looking back at this kind of stuff like that and just reliving it and remembering just how incredible that sky was. Like this bluish purple color versus just the gray. Like you can see it throughout. It was just Emily and I just kept saying, oh my gosh, we can't believe this scenery. And unfortunately not a lot of wildlife, but we did eventually stumble into some stuff, as you're about to see. So there's straight out of camera, and then final edit right there just to kind of make all those colors pop. But wow, what a landscape, you know? So a few more of these, and this was just us driving along the park, just seeing all this stuff. And then we got to these guys. So here's a shot on the iPhone, and I want to say it was 4 or 5 rams, and these were big boys. They were really big rams. So did some with the 2470, also did some with 1:4. I think I even at one point, look at that thing. He's a beast. I think at one point I even pulled out the 400-2.8. Oh, and it was on and off raining. And when it was raining pretty hard, as you can see here, you know, but man, what a ram. Look at that guy. Way past, or, you know, really getting a full curl there. Like seeing the eye through the horn like that. So that was kind of an important thing I was paying attention to. And yeah, got some closer shots of him just eating like that. They were super chill, just didn't mind us at all as long as we moved around slowly and didn't freak them out. Now, this was another problem. I say problem. A bummer is that they were back on the rolling plains here on this side. The other side of the road, however, if we got up high enough, had a little bit of this Badlands, there you go. So this, you could start to see it some in the background, and I shot this at 29mm, and this is how we did it, guys. So, well, I'll play this one first.
So here's a bighorn sheep, and here we are. Pretty wild. Insane. She's like, I think she just can't believe it. I'm not really sure, actually.
And then I'll show you guys this one. This is where I shot that wide angle. So Emily was doing this from the bottom there of the door. Massive bighorn ram right in front of us.
Crazy.
So crazy. We're shooting right out of the van here. Check it out.
Yeah, he's got some big...
And then I was standing up shooting this from the top with the 24-70. She had her 24-70 on as well. And so my goal was, I think I was actually like standing up. So we're already in the van door. I was standing up and holding the camera up using the flip screen so I could see out into that space a little bit. Would have been so much better if we were right on the edge of that, showing that habitat off in the background instead of this big swath of grass. I mean, that would have been just the dream shot, to have these massive rams right on the edge of that super cool Badland habitat. Would have been incredible, but that's not where they were, so we did the best we could with it. Went back out with a 100-400 here. Yeah, here's another one coming through. I think I had 2 cameras going at that point. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see, this was Z9, and no, I guess I was switching back and forth. So I thought I had been switching cameras back and forth, but I guess not. So right alongside the road. So that's the other challenge. We're trying to keep the road out of the frame there and crop it out. And you can see there was a handful of them here. This guy had a collar, but thankfully the rest of them didn't, which was nice. So, oh, here we go. I did bring the 400-2.8 out for this just to get some nice portraits. I kind of remember doing that. So there's a portrait of one of these guys. Look at those horns. Like, damn, man. And this tip is broken right there. There's Collar Man. I mean, he had a nice set of horns too, like really pretty horns. They weren't quite as big and dominant as some of the other ones, but he's got a really great shape to the horn. But the collar was just like, I didn't concentrate on him, you know. Thankfully, we had these other guys kind of working the area there, and it had stopped raining enough for us to get out and shoot a little bit more. And yeah, look, they get so close. I just was shooting some close-up details of them. Couldn't even fit the thing in the frame with the prime lens, which was kind of wild. And then back to the 24-70 right when this guy came right in. I mean, pretty cool, right? Look at that guy. Huge. This one I liked a lot. Just laying down out there, looking out over the distance. You can kind of see the rain, the storm in the background. And yeah, like, I love having these portraits, but that to me is where it's at. That's probably my favorite shot, just because I like the way the sheep is sort of angled into the frame. I feel like it all just kind of leads you back. You can see some of the actual Badlands habitat. So it gives you a little bit of context beyond just that open grassy prairie. And then the storm clouds in the background got a good bit of drama in them. So I really enjoyed this one as a shot. And this was taken from a pretty high perspective too, which was kind of neat. But thankfully the grasses were really pretty, because if not, it would have sucked, you know. And then just some close-up shots of these guys. And then Emily had a friend that we randomly met out there, somebody she knew from South Carolina, from where her mom lives here in South Carolina, happened to be out there and saw us and took a photo of the rams right outside our van there. So that's what that is. And so I kept that in there just to kind of finish things up. So there we go, guys. A short one, what, 20 minutes? That's really good for me on one of these. So thanks so much for joining me. I'll show you one more time some of my favorites from this outing. There you go. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right.